Yo, what's up, chat? How's everyone doing? Hopefully, you guys didn't miss me too much, but I am back. I am back. I missed you guys a lot, I'll be honest. It was a good vacation. I'm just trying to fix the volume for the music here so it's not too loud. Yeah, so I had a good vacation. Great time seeing my family members. I mean, seeing my young cousins were, they were little babies the last time I saw them, and now they're old, a little bit older, driving cars and talking about almost finishing high school and so on. It's a little bit of a shock over there. It just made me realize how much older I am getting and how much more serious we need to take life and all this trading stuff serious, right? So yeah, it was a little bit of a shock over there, but it was a great time seeing my family members, my uncles, my aunts, my mom's side of the family in Washington D.C. And now it's time to get back to work. Today we actually came back to work. We traded a little bit. We saw the Birkenstock IPO. We traded that. A couple other positions that we traded too. So we'll go over all those stocks that we traded today, and we'll also go over all the stocks that possibly could give us more opportunities to make money tomorrow and the rest of the week. That's what the plan is for the show, as you guys always come out and hang out for that. So I appreciate that. Let's see who's in the chat so far. We see Dieter saying he'll come back later to finish watching the stream, but funny thumbnail. Yeah, appreciate that. The little Bill Gates face swap over there with Microsoft, because Microsoft got hit with the $29 billion back taxes fees, so they might have to be out of a good chunk of money. We'll actually find out how much cash on hand they have. We'll do a little bit of research on that and see how much they're gonna have to possibly get hit by on this back taxes. Maybe they appeal it or whatever. We'll see what happens, but the little trade off of that possibly on Microsoft tomorrow. Robo coming in chat. What's up, Robo? And Soze, what's up, Soze? Welcome. Momo's in the house too. TraderPrad, trader of a lifetime. Buy TPSC yesterday, sell it today. No more need to work now. Hey, I like it. If you did that, congratulations to you. I actually traded TPSD today, not to the best that I would have liked it to, but I traded it. I made money on it. I'm not gonna complain. It was almost 100% return based on the amount of money that I put into the trade and the amount of money that I did make on that trade. So it was a good run today with TPST. We'll talk about that obviously, and we'll also look for possible trades on that tomorrow. I still don't really understand what's really going on in that stock. That's a little fishy, a little scary. So you want to be careful as it's now it's in the crazy territories. Anything can happen in these price ranges now, so you want to be a little careful. But last night after I did come back from the long drive that we had, I sat down for a bit and I was charting off stream because it was a little bit late. It was like around 10 o'clock at night, so I was just charting by myself, and TPSD did pop up in my scanners. I was sadly waiting for it to show up around $1, and the stock was already trading near $2, so I had to find a spot to enter. I found one. I traded it. We'll talk about it. It was a good stock nevertheless. But anyways, hopefully you guys had a great vacation. You guys had a great weekend. You guys had an even better Monday and Tuesday because the markets were volatile. I mean, the whole war that's going on in Israel and Palestine. I mean, prayers to all the lives that have been lost and people who are suffering and everything. But I did not see the market going up the way it did on Monday. I thought the market was going to really go down, but the market, rallied to the north side. That gave a lot of people a lot of trades. Volatility was all over the place. Tuesday gave a lot of trades too. So hopefully you guys were able to capitalize on those 2 days because I wasn't. And I get to live vicariously through my chat over here. But today, a little bit of a muted day. We had FOMC minutes. FOMC minutes did come out and kind of saved the market later on, and also rallied the market to the north side. So that was a good long over there for whoever took it. And we'll see if those longs are still available for tomorrow and what happens tomorrow. Maybe this Microsoft catalyst of $29 billion will probably start wearing on the tech sector, and we could see the tech sector kind of sell off tomorrow a little bit, bringing down the QQQ, bringing down the SPYs, breaking down other stocks with it. So we'll take a look at all these stocks. So why don't we start diving in, beginning with my trades on the day. All right, so my trades on the day, starting off with, where did my Sponsors go. My sponsors, let's put them back up there, and we'll put the webcam back up there, and we're good to go now. Okay. Hi chat, I'm back. So Birkenstock IPO'd today, and it was a little, real bad right off the bat. Looking at it and on the imbalance locator that we have on our softwares over here with Day Trade the World. So looking at it at that moment, it just looked horrible. So I was getting ready to short this. There was a big buyer here at 40.50. I figured, hey, if the stock really breaks that 40.50, starts trading below 40.50, there could be a big move to the downside over here, because this stock was priced in to open up from somewhere between 42, I believe, to 49, or it could be 44 to 49 actually. I think it was 44 to 49 dollars, and it opened up at 41, and we saw a lot of weakness, a lot of selling coming in right off the open. So I'm figuring, hey, there could be a possible short, a monster short off of this buyer that gets exhausted. But as soon as that trade fails, I'm able to flip long on this trade as the stock is just ripping up to the north side. I take the breakout of 41. There was a seller at 41, so I take the breakout of 41. I'm able to take profits all the way up to the north side. I add back over here, and then I add back all the way down over here closer to 40.50, and then I'm able to scalp those profits all the way back up to the north side, being all out of my trade. It shows up as orange, like a short exit. That's only because I had a stop down over here, but because how our platform kind of calculates your entries and exits, if you have a stop out for your full size, it thinks you're getting into a new short, but technically I'm just exiting on my longs. So these are just long covers all the way to the north side. Birkenstock, good little trade. It was a little hard to take a lot of size on it, I'll be honest, because this buyer wasn't really obvious on the bid. You weren't seeing like a big size on the bid, although it was doing a lot of volume there, relatively doing a lot of volume there, and not able to actually trade below it, much below than 44 or so. Sorry, 40.48 or so. You would barely see a trade below 40.48, and it would just immediately tick back up after ticking that bottom. So we would see some buying coming in. So based on that, I would start taking some longs and taking little profits. Good little trade. I think this was my best stock on the day today. Birkenstock. Birkenstock? Yeah, Birkenstock. The slipper company. Now after that, let's go to a stock that I actually lost on the day. Let's make it spicy. So this one should not have actually been a loss, I'll be honest. This one should have been a banger winner, but I just traded it poorly, and honestly it was a little hard on even the way that the stock was trading. I let the stock trade a little bit. It breaks 20, comes back below 20, and I'm able to now, ride the shorts to the downside. Oh, actually, don't do that. I take some in pre-market. I have it go against me. I see what happens above 20. Then I get back in. Then I add. And then it just starts rallying above 20 to the point I say, you know what? No, I'm done with this trade. Forget it. Later on, I try to get back in right below VWAP. Try to see if the stock can kind of behave a little bit. It does, but then it just bounces off of this area where I keep seeing buying coming in. So I just say, you know what, forget it. I'm closing this position. I'm walking away from it. And I also saw this buyer previously, which was 1,000 lots at, I believe, 1959. 1,000 lots at 1959 was sitting there at the bids, not really moving. So based on the first bounce, which was at 1960 something, and the size over there, I figured, okay, I'll close this trade. If there is a short that plays out, it might be on the break of that, and then I'll just take the size break and the ride to the downside. But the size does break, and it doesn't really ride to the downside. My risk is tight. I get stopped out. I miss out on a nice little move to the upside where I could have lost more money, so that's good on my part. But I don't come back to that trade where it's like the right side of the V. I actually flip away from Rivian. I say I don't want to look at this stock anymore, and I move away from it. This happens to be my worst stock on the day, but later on I do end up catching a nice little short to pay me back for my struggles over here. Not truly, it still happens to be my worst stock on the day, but pay me back a little bit for my troubles that I put on throughout the day on the stock. So Rivian should have been my best stock of the day. I even planned for it last night. You can see right here, Rivian, possible resistance at 20. If the stock can get above it, possible longs, right? So possible resistance at 20. I planned for it. I just wasn't able to execute it properly. But hey, We'll see if we can fight it tomorrow, and we'll see if what directions the trade shows up in. From Rivian, let's go to another positive trade. Cody Turner in the house. Welcome back, Cody. So let's go to TPST, the stock that was absolutely monstrous today. I mean, for my risk to reward on this stock, I absolutely smashed it in my opinion. But there were people who did it, who smashed it much way better than me, right? So they captured a way bigger move than what I did. Overall, what happened was I noticed this area near $1.80 was showing a lot of buying itself in pre-market. The stock has done a lot of volume. When stocks with low float doing a ton of volume in pre-market, you can kind of see the levels that are there. You can kind of trust on those levels. So over here, as the stock does trade and does its nonsense and halts off the open, does everything, I let it do its thing, and once it comes back and halts to the downside and then opens back right at that same price, I am now getting interested in the stock. So I built in that entry right near 180. I think my entry was exactly $1.80. So I made at 180. My stop is at the low of some of those candles. I believe it was 170. And I limited down to 150 just in case the stock does insanely move to the downside. I'm not able to get out on that stop. Overall, get in on the long over here after it opens back off that halt, and I'm able to capture a nice move to $2 or so, and then a bigger move after to $3. Here, I think, I was so right on making the decision of jumping out on this stock, because now it's halting to the downside, and I flip away from this position, and later on, I come back to my desk, and I see that the stock is trading in these ranges where I say, okay, I can't see what to do with the stock at this point. I'm just going to stay away from it and just keep watching it. And wow, what insane moves overall. Just halts after halts after halts, all the way to the upside. A little bit of a retrace and more to the upside. I can't wait to see how the stock traded in the after hours and see if we have any possible trades on the stock tomorrow for us to trade off of. So TPST, a little bit of a crazy stock today. Obviously, possibly will be crazy tomorrow too. Won't be surprised if it does that. You're trading at home or another prop firm. I'm trading at the same Day Trade the World prop firm, but it's just a different. It's managed by different people. It's not managed by the Trader TV Live company over there. So it's just a different franchise is what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Charge Point, my next trade on the day today. Wasn't really aware of this big move to the downside until later on in the day when the stock was already down 15%. I pull it up on a longer time frame chart. I look at Charge Point. It's at an all-time low. So now I'm kind of waiting for the stock to really show me consolidation. You could have thought that this consolidation over here could have given you that bounce, but it works better when you're looking for that SSR bounce. It works better when the stock is kind of further away from VWAP. So the VWAP's around $4 over here, and we have a nice little consolidation on a higher high and a higher low pattern. I'm looking for a pullback, and on that pullback I get long. I'm long at $3.80, and my risk is basically right below 380. Sorry, I'm long at 382.5. because I took half prints. I'm long 382.5 and my risk is right under $3.80. If it does go back under that last candle, I kind of don't even want to be in that trade. I think this was actually 380 right here. This was actually 380 right here. So if it goes below 380, which just makes a new low on that day, I just don't want to be in that trade. So my risk was 2.5 pennies, and the stock gives me about 10 pennies to the upside. I wish there was more room up there near $4, but there was a lot of weakness, obviously, and the stock does pull back, and that's my last little position over there. I got rid of most of my size over here, thankfully, so that anything that I got out over here was just the, I guess, scratch profits flat, or just taking quick little last little pennies, few pennies over there. So not really any profits were made on this trade, but still good trade. I mean, if you can push 1,000 shares over there, give it 2 cents a risk, that's a $20 risk, and if you get 10 cents out of it, you get $100 out of it. I would take this trade 10 times out of 10. Maybe it works 7 times. That's a good probability ratio for a stock with the risk to reward of 10R, sometimes even 20R to the north side, or whatever direction you're looking for. But this is the SSR bounce. I call it the Brankles bounce because he's the one who's been trading the setup so much in the past and kind of teaching everyone else, so shout out to him. So looking for that SSR bounce over here. Simple market mechanic helped me catch that charge point long today. Probably will give us more trades tomorrow because we do have SSR day 2 on it. Now, here we have Pepsi. Pepsi was my number one stock on the day today until I kind of messed up over here. This was me just being trigger happy and looking to see if the stock could give me some sort of a trade and make more money on it because I missed out on a bigger move that I initially planned out for. So how did that start? How did I start losing money over here on Pepsi? It started with this 164 area. So Pepsi earnings day 2, earnings day 1, which was yesterday. The stock actually had a decent move to the upside. PEP. Let's go to the 1-day chart. Earnings day 1 right here. It actually had a decent day. It was on the upside. I guess the market was up too. So and Pepsi has been selling off a lot recently because of that that diet drug. What's it called? Ozempic or whatever. So because of that diet drug, Pepsi, McDonald's, Coca-Cola have all been selling off recently quite a bit. So I've been liking these stocks to put on my watch list. And today, with a little bit of relative volume right off the open, I was looking for a break of this area over here, which happens to be the earnings VWAP, the blue line over there, the blue moving average that you're seeing. It's actually the earnings anchored VWAP. So on the break of the possible move of earnings anchored VWAP, I'm looking for a short over there. And first, I do get short, but then on the move back up, I get stopped out. So I'm looking for a long now because I'm flipping my mind over here. Now I'm thinking, hey, maybe Pepsi actually is positive enough with this earnings report. It's made pretty big moves to the downside so far. Possible time for it to reverse over here and start giving some longs and some bulls a little bit of a rally. So I'm looking for a long, but the long just doesn't work. The 164 just gets smashed to the downside. So I'll let the stock trade around a little bit. It does push back down. I'm able to get back into the shorts later on and ride it to the downside right near 162. 163. So I get about $1 move for really tight risk right back near 164.20 or so, whatever. I think this was actually my size was at 164.30. And my risk was basically around 164.50. But if you're watching the tape, the stock would not trade over 164.30. It just simply would not trade over 164.30. And my price was 164.27, 164.30. That ended up giving me a nice little trade to the downside, giving me a tight little risk to reward. But me missing out that bigger move closer to 161, $162 over here, that bigger risk to reward, I really need to get better with holding some of the size. Keep screwing myself up with a lot of money. TPST would have been a banger trade today if I was just holding some size, right? Overall, missed out on a lot of money on a lot of trades because I don't do that, and that gives me a little bit of FOMO. I'm looking for a trade right back in this range, and that range looks like it wants to sell off a bit, but then I'm being ignorant. I'm ignoring what the stock is telling me. I'm ignoring what the market's telling me, and this is also closer to FOMC time, so FOMC minutes time, sorry. So based on all that, I just figure, hey, let's just close this trade. This is not a right trade. I'm trading the bad trade at the moment, and this is not the one good trade. So I'm out of this one, jump out, and move on from this bad boy. So that was, what was this again? Pepsi. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be interested in it, but we'll see if there will be a trade tomorrow. Palantir, for some reason, I don't know why, I just wanted to short this 18 area. All in all, I was watching the yesterday's high. Yesterday's high short was the play because the stock sells off completely, gives you multiple chances, and I just ignored that yesterday's high level. That was the trade. This is just a bad trade over here. I'm just glad I ended up being green on the day. But this is a horrible trade. You knew you wanted to try it again at the yesterday's high. It's okay if you wanted to try near pre-market highs and $18. Nice little flat dollar price. We've seen Palantir kind of reject the flat pre-market price, flat even dollar before, and just sell off completely. But this was just a way better setup right over here at yesterday's high at 1840. So if you shorted that price, congratulations. Monster move to the downside on Palantir today. And still positive on the day, looks like, on PLTR, based on the time that I took the screenshot. I think I took it right around the close. Yeah, 10 minutes before the close. Still positive on the day, or just about positive on the day. So shout out to this trade over here on Palantir. I wish I took that short, which I wanted to, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, ladies and gentlemen. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. We can talk about that all the time we want, but it is what it is. Brad, what is your average size per trade at work? It depends on the stock, depends on the risk I'm giving, depends on the amount of leeway on a room that I want to give to. Also, for the basic part, my risk on the day is $250. If I lose more than $250, I get shut down on the day. So I can't be risking, let's say, more than like $50 on a really good trade. So based on that, you can kind of do the math yourself and kind of understand the sizing behind it. So if I'm giving a stock 50 cents of risk to the upside, and I'm getting the fill somewhere over here, you can kind of understand the sizing that I'm kind of pushing on trades and so on, right? That's consistency. You build consistency on the trades. You keep on building profits every single day. They keep compounding. That helps build your shutdown, and then you get to take more size, and then that keeps keep compounding, and then you keep winning more money. And then some days you take losses, some days you lose, but then you keep winning and you keep winning, and these compounds, and you end up being that consistently profitable trader that you always wanted to be, not that dice roller that some of these people out here are always dreaming to be. Those one-shot winners. No shots at anybody. No shots at anybody. So this was our watch list from yesterday. But here is our watch list for tomorrow. Here's the stocks that we'll kind of be going through. We have a little bit of a long watch list over here, so hope you guys are ready for a little bit of a longer stream again. Once again, I know, I'm sorry, I apologize. No, I don't. I'm gonna do it because I love doing this, and I love charting stocks, and I love looking at levels for you guys. So let's do this. Let's go through all the stocks that we kind of have on store for us. Starting off with Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines with earnings tomorrow, pre-market, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, we look like we have a nice little range over here on Delta that we're stuck in right between $35 and $37 or so. Based on the earnings report, I wouldn't be surprised if we do break out of $37.50 and start trading somewhere up to the north side of $39. Let me quickly find out where this website is. Where is... Log in on this website. Hopefully you guys don't see my password. Okay, good. You guys don't. What's your thoughts on SoFi? I can put it in my list over here. Okay. What was the stock that we're just looking at? Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines earnings move. Earnings move. Okay, they're expecting a 3% move. So yeah, they're looking for a pop up to $37.50 or a drop down to $34.50 based off the earnings number. And right around to the downside over here, a little bit lower, maybe $34.50 to the lower end of that candle, and right up to the higher end of these ranges over here of $37.50, $37.30 to the north side if earnings are good. And then we get to probably trade even bigger move to the north side, or maybe a retracement off that move and find some support, and then a little bit of a bounce off that move for a little bit of a rally later on if it's a good rapport, or a rally to the downside. I don't know if it's called a rally or a move to the downside, whatever the report is, whatever side the trade ends up coming out for us, I'll be looking out for it. But Delta Airlines, for sure, you got to keep on watch. Those are the levels that we're getting right off the options calculator. This is the options AI. They kind of use, I guess, AI, it says in their name, to calculate the expected implied move. They've been accurate quite a bit of time, so I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers do come out in either of those directions. So watch out for the move up to 37, 30 to 37.50s, or move down to 35 to 34.50s to the downside on Delta Airlines tomorrow, and then even a bigger trade off of that. What time is even their earnings report? I can't tell you that one, but obviously pre-market is the answer for that one. Walgreens is also another stock that's been beat down quite a bit. That Elizabeth Holmes stock, basically, at this point they've been beat down on multiple other catalyst besides that. But right now, with earnings tomorrow coming up, there's a possible trade over here, maybe, as the stock is kind of breaking out of these ranges already. I do like that we're trading above this 22.61 area. Let's see how much volume you do on a daily basis. 17 million. That's not bad at all. So let me just quickly put down that line for myself near 2260, 2250. Put one here for myself also, and maybe one somewhere down over here, which happens to be the 52-week low. And tomorrow, as the earnings numbers are coming out, let's see what our friends at, where did Options AI go? Options AI, you can come back over here for us. Our friends at Options AI are expecting the numbers of the blah 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 to come out at 5.8% move, 5.8% move, which gives it to 21.30 to the downside, or $24 to the upside. So $24 right up here to the high of basically today, or to the low side of what again? 21.30 to the low of this candle. I think we basically go all the way to the low of 52-week low if the numbers come out bad on Walgreens. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But so far, a nice little breakout on today. Even though we did give back most of the move that we broke out of, looks like still a lot of selling up here on Walgreens. I mean, look at that big candle. That was not too long ago. So still a lot of selling over here on Walgreens incoming. And I'll be very surprised if the numbers do come out good tomorrow. And if they do come out good, I want to see, are the sellers are still there or not? What happens on these prices over here for WBA? Looks like we could have some interesting trades over here. I would for sure keep this one on the watch list too. Another stock that's also in pre-market. Before we go to DPZ, which is Domino's Pizza, I actually want to see what market the stock is in. SYNDY. This is on the OTC market, sadly, so don't think we'll be able to find a real good trade off of it. Not a lot of volume on it either, but this is 7-Eleven Holdings. 7-Eleven Holdings coming out with earnings tomorrow, pre-market. Trades on the OTC markets right now in a beautiful channel to the downside. I kind of will be ignoring this one because the lack of volume. I mean, looks like even on earnings days, it only brings in about 700,000 shares. Not a lot of volume, especially for the OTC markets for myself, so I'll be ignoring it. But 7-Eleven Holdings in the OTC markets coming out with earnings pre-market for those of you interested, especially if you trade the pink sheets. But coming back to something that's not in the pink sheets, and it's a really crazy stock price for a really shitty pizza. Sorry, not sorry. Unless if you live in India. If you live in India, Domino's Pizza actually slaps. But sadly, Canadian Domino's Pizza is disappointing. Really, really disappointing. But talking about the stock and talking about the trades, however, let's see what happens tomorrow. If earnings do come out good, I mean, I would not be surprised to move on back into these ranges on a good earnings report and a bad earnings report somewhere down over here. But keep in mind, even on good earnings days, the stock barely brings in volume. There was one time it brought in 3.7 million shares, but ever since then it's been pretty much dead. Barely 2 million shares on a good earnings day report. It's a $300 stock. The spread's going to be a little nasty, but if the report is worth enough to trade, you will get a little bit of a crazy breakout on either ways. You'll see a monster gap that comes out of this position, and you'll be able to retrace that gap, or be able to have a follow through on that gap as DPZ ends up doing something wild all the time. So if you are looking for the trades over here, not a bad idea to have this one on your watch list tomorrow. DPZ, Domino's Pizza, also earnings pre-market tomorrow. So as the earnings seasons are back, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a lot of fun with these movers once again. And I think next week is actually the hot week. We got banks coming up this Friday though. Let's actually show you the earnings board over here. So Delta Airlines, Walgreens, Domino's Pizza, CMC if anyone's interested in that, Commercial Metals, Infosys, 7-Eleven Holdings, as I was talking about that just now. But Friday we got JP Morgan Chase, United Health Group, Citibank, BlackRock, Wells Fargo. So a bunch of banks, a couple maybe not couple, just one, but maybe a couple insurance companies and more banks coming out. So banks obviously starting off the party over here. And then I think next week we should have tech coming up soon. So a lot of earnings to take us into the end of the year over here. So let's get ready for all of them. I'm sure you guys are excited, and that happens to be, sadly, the only 3 stocks that we're interested in for tomorrow pre-market. Nothing really in the after hours stands out for me, but we do have SGH and CMTL. Never heard of them, never traded them, don't think I'll be interested in them. But we do have banks coming up on Friday, so that's obviously, baby, fun times coming up on the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's go look at some stocks that moved in the after hours. There's been a lot of penny stocks over here, so I need to find out what actually brought in, what's the catalyst for this position. SECO. The decliner from North Asia were led by luxury online retailers. So how's that good catalyst? Because doesn't the stock pop up yeah, look at that. It went from 2 pennies to almost $3. But the catalyst over there looks a little bit negative to me. 2 days ago, 5 days ago, 6 days ago. Okay, so something happened over here that we don't know about. The stock took off absolutely to the north side. This is a Chinese company? Oh yeah. We got another one. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm gonna throw that one over there for ourselves. This happens to be the anchored VWAP from this whole move that I'm interested in. See what happens tomorrow off that price. But obviously we're interested in that beautiful $1 area right over here, that $1 price point. If we do see a pullback to 1 and the stock manages to hold 1, SECO, I think the stock has given us some trades previously above $1. Yeah, kind of remember the stock bringing in a ton of volume and, trading well above $1, or trying to trade well above $1. I shouldn't say well, but it tries to trade above $1, but looks like it just gets stuffed down every single time. It's a good thing that we actually pulled back. That's the last time the stock split, and it really struggles to trade above, what's that price that we just put down, the $1.50. Yeah, that's around $1.50. We got a line over here. Nope, I want you to magnet, please. Thank you, sir. Magnet that one too. So $1.88, $1.68, $1.50. This whole area, I'm interested in what happens on the stock if we do pop up into this price. Obviously we did pop up into those prices and a little bit more in the after hours session, but right now we're closing right around these areas. So tomorrow, if we hold up in these price points, if $1 does gets tested and shows you a lot of buying coming in, I'll be interested in seeing if the stock has a move right back into this $3, $4 into this kind. If this one can be a little bit crazy for us, like that TPST position. So let's put some notes over here. Wait for the dollar test, but if stocks higher than that, be careful. Okay, here's another stock that's, a penny stock that's actually taken off to the north side. OPGN. very close to a stock that I previously traded, OCGN, but this is OPGN, bringing in some volume. It's taken off to the north side once again. Random positions that we've never seen. A lot of volume in the after hours. You know, decent amount of volume in the after hours, going from being a penny stock to being a a $1, $2 stock. Not sure what the catalyst is. This one's September 29th. September 29th. You know what? We actually maybe can see some news on it using our friend Benzinga. We can. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Benzinga. What is this? Payment of euros related to sale of something systems to strategic partners. So they made 750,000 euros. So on that catalyst, I guess they have a little bit more cash on hand now. That little cash on hand catalyst bringing them up to the north side. And shout out to them on that one. I'm not sure if this will be a really good trade off of this. Honestly, that catalyst doesn't sound too good. But we did get a push in the after hours, almost up to $2 over here. Yeah, 2.30. We did pull back to $1 though, and we're looking for once again the same dollar idea. So let's just put the same catalyst over here once again. Dollar, and I think RSLS is again the same thing. I just found 3 penny stocks that made a little bit of a move. This one, not a lot of volume like the other two, so maybe we'll actually remove this one unless that one shows us a lot of volume. We'll not be too interested in RSLS, but the OPGN and SECO, we're looking for that dollar test. If there is any buying at that dollar, smash that long and have fun to the north side, because that's what this stock was kind of setting up for us today. I was not expecting, I was not expecting this position to do anything that it did. So here's a couple levels that I'll show you. I was mapping out last night, not thinking the stock would go up to right over here, $1.40, and this box near 226 to 220. Did not think the stock would even go up to that price in pre-market. I get into work, and what happens? The stock is actually trading right in that box in pre-market and rejects that box perfectly, pushes to the downside, sees a little bit of a rejection off the lower end of that box, pulls back into that box, and then struggles, and then off the open just sticks to that box. So now that I have all these levels mapped out, I'm seeing this low over here on the stock near $1.73. The stock pulls back to $1.80, gives me a nice little long entry over there, tight risk to reward. If that $1.70 breaks, then you know what, I'm out of this trade. I'll wait for it near $1. But that price never really breaks. Monster moves to the upside, halts, and then right around where I do have that level near 323, I say, you know what, the stock is probably done for the day. I'm down, I'm out, I'll take my money. It's a level that I have mapped out. My levels, Pradamus was striking on this position earlier on in the day, so why does he not strike again? And technically, as you guys can see, he did strike on it again, because that was pretty much the high of that whole move, that whole rally. And then once again, more moves over here that I captured. Sadly, I stopped putting lines on the stock because the stock was going crazy, and there's just no sense of any more levels to put on the stock. So monster moves overall. Let's actually map this one out. I'm kind of interested in that price point here, 455. And I mean, we're over here now on this position. Insane. We're right near the split prices, and these are pretty important if you think about, because the stock should not technically be trading above this price. I think, I don't know if that makes any sense, but we're basically, is that the high of today? Can't be, right? Hello? Yeah, no, that was, oh, that's pretty close to being the high today. Pretty damn close to being the high today. I think tomorrow we could see more moves. I mean, we got a nice little range over here on this position, couple bottoms over here, double bottom, rally to the north side, taking out that area and pushing much higher. I mean, look at this. I think the split was probably a reverse split. We'll take a look at that, what that split is right now. That's a reverse split, so that's probably too high over there. No, I like that, but then I want to put another line over here somewhere in the 16s or so. So let me just zoom in, and kind of slap that line right over there, right near 1550s or so, 16. And now get into the 1 day chart or 1 minute chart. Here's the 1 minute chart. Here's the after hour consolidation right near $6. We did make that run up to $10, $11 in the after hours. Tried to hold up in front of 9, but 9 failed. We dropped down to $6 and consolidate near 6. There could be a way bigger move and a bigger squeeze. I mean, this is only a 7 million floats position, trading 173 million shares on the day today, and up 3,900%, like almost 4,000% move on TPST. Some people made $6 million today on the stock. If I can see this post accurately. I mean, this guy made $6 million on this position today. He lost 20,000 over here and made 2K on Tesla, but that was his trade right there, TPST. Wow, okay. Wow, shout out to this guy. Uh, Making $6 million, close to $6 million on that trade on TPST today. So big trade overall, and it's basically that easy, ladies and gentlemen. If you found that buyer, if you found that bid, and that bid was there at $1.80, you could have basically just run up to the north side. It was monster level today. Tomorrow we could see more squeeze coming in. They said they were supporting the bids with some algo. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to squeeze more of the stock tomorrow. So TPST, be careful. I would be very careful. But there's some games over here that's being played. They're better trades, and they're not better trades. They're better traders. And they got more money than us, so you don't want to be caught off on the wrong side of which big money trader is having an ego battle with the next big money trader. They will basically go to margin call on this stuff sometimes, so you don't want to be caught on the wrong side. Obviously, put good risk management to practice when you're trading those positions, any of those penny stocks that we talked about today from the after hour movers, or even TPST, and obviously trade appropriately with your levels and your risk management. Make sure you can trade the next day, basically, is what I'm trying to say, because if you're not able to trade the next day, you're game over, right? Don't be game over. Plug Power, previously selling off quite a bit, but these last few days it's been having a nice little rally to the north side, pushing right back into this area that we mapped out last night for ourselves, closer to this $8 area. Did give you a possible short right off the 8. Wasn't really watching it that closely off the open. Could have possibly had that short if I was watching it off the open, but I was more closely watching Rivian and Palantir, which both of them were losers on the day for me, right? So I was watching them more closely off the open. Missed out a nice little short off the open over here on Plug. And tomorrow, is there any trade over here for myself? I mean, it all really depends on what the stock does in pre-market. Today we did get a little bit of pullback, but still up on the day, pretty strongly up on the day. I think it was up 10%, closing 5% on the day. Not a bad sign at all. The stock does look like it wants to recover. It had some insane surge of $6 billion, $7 billion. Yeah, look at that. Hydrogen hub located in Pennsylvania among winners of $7 billion in US grants. So shout out to Plug Power over there. Charge Point, that we had the other stock on board today that we caught a nice little long on, dropping to the downside, even though what was that? I think they actually were selling off some of their, I think it was actually a bad catalyst on Charge Point. But overall, some of these charging companies, Plug Power, Charge Point, both of them coming back into play over here for us. Moves to the upside and one moves to the downside. Plug Power, the level that I'm interested in once again is that $8 area. Two great positive green days on this position, but pushing right back into previous support, which is now a solid resistance for at least a week or so. Let's see if we can use this positive catalyst to continue rallying to the upside, go all the way to the 100 period EMA on the daily chart, right where the EMA says $9.24, or do we just push up to the $50 period EMA around $8.20 and kind of show us rejection right near this $8.50, $9 area, right at these peaks and push right back to the downside. So possible short near 9 and possible short again near $8 if the stock does push up tomorrow. So let's put some notes over here on plug. Looking at wait for the 9 test. XOM actually has a little bit of a different catalyst. I think it's not really an oil catalyst behind it, even though oil is kind of in play with everything that's going on with the you know, the Middle East, the war, and Qatar and problems and so on. So a little bit of the oil sector, obviously crude futures, something to always keep on watch for us. But XOM having its own separate catalyst. They're actually buying out a different company for a ton of money, billions and billions of dollars over there. So obviously when XOM is getting ready to spend a good ton of money, they're going to be pushing to the downside and not have that much money sitting on their cash on hand theory or so on, right? So good little sell-off over here on XOM, good 3%, but holding right off in this day's low. So holding off on that day's low. Maybe we see that support coming in over here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a bigger move to the downside on XLM closer to this 102 area. You know, I think it was like a 20 billion, 16 billion dollars sale, buyout that they're buying out. PXD, is that the stock? Yeah, PXD, right? I think it was 20 billion. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, chat. Thank you for your great work. Oh no, thank you for tuning in, I appreciate it. Yeah, that is a tight shutdown. They got to protect their money, man. They got to protect their money. Some of the trainees that you watch on Trader TV Live have $50 shutdowns, right? So imagine how hard their life is. I remember having a $50 shutdown. My life was hard. And having to make 2K in a month on a $50 shutdown was ridiculously hard. Ridiculously hard. Okay. What is your thoughts on SoFi? Oh, I have that in my notes. Right, not good. Can't remember when was the last time I ate pizza from there. They had burger pizza. Yeah. Peace, TraderPrad. The thumbnail's crazy. Yo, it's good, Piccolo-san. TraderPrad, I looked back 10 years and saw 10K a share. What are you talking about? Look back 10K years, 10 years. For what stock? What are we talking about, Momo? $50 only. That's worse than Apex. $50 for what? Now I forget. I'll forget what we're talking about. $50 for what? Damn it, man. My brain's all over the place. But hey, coming back to XOM over here. XOM. Oh, the shutdown. All right. Damn it. See my brain's all over the place. I need to stop smoking the Zaza, chat. That's what it is. Stop smoking the Zaza, Prad. The Zaza. Alright, there we go. Couple levels to kind of keep an eye out for on XOM. 105, 101/102, and then we got the 98 area to keep an eye out for. Obviously the $100 is a no-brainer. It's like, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Are you stupid? You know, insert 69. So we got the 105, 102/101 with the 100 and the 98 areas over here on ZOM. There we go. Those are the levels that I'll be interested to see how the stock trades in those ranges. If it gives us any shorts, any continuation moves to the downside, possibly settles down over here tomorrow. Especially if the stock is weak. I mean, look at the relative volume spike, and that's a pretty big indication on the candle itself too. The candle showing you, hey, we did pressure the stock to go all the way down over here and even break that day's low, but we trapped all the stops. We trapped the new short entries, and the bulls came in, rallied the stock. The FOMC minutes came in, rallied the stock, and pushed it right back up. Let's go actually look at how it looks in the intraday. Look at that, right? Rallying right off that 105, 106 area. Sorry, 105, yeah, 105 area. And 104.84 really being the low of that move and pushing right back to 106. Tomorrow could be a bigger sell-off day on XOM. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see that. But, you know, that's a pretty big indication that buyers came in, especially off the FOMC minutes rally that the markets had today. So tomorrow 105 break could give us a big move to 101, and I don't want to miss out that move on XOM. Palantir, we talked about that 18 area, but more importantly is that yesterday's high, that 1850, we pushed right to that price point. But look at this candle, basically the opposite of XOM. It shows you that the buyers came in, rallied, fought, but we basically lost that momentum and pushed back to the downside. Still ended positive on the day, a little bit lower volume than on the last few days, monster volume on the last few days towards this $18 area. But right now, the fact that the stock even closer to $18, sadly below 18, but closer to 18. Let's go see how it traded in the after hours. In the after hours, looked like a little bit of a rally above 18 and basically around 18. But I think if we do get a pullback towards this 1834 to 1850, possible shorts around that. Possible shorts around this price point for the stock tomorrow. So I'll be looking for this area to come back, show me resistance, and write it back down. But it looks like based on how the stock traded over here actually today, there could be more buying power and we actually start rallying higher and higher. Let's actually wait to see how the market trades tomorrow, how the stock trades in pre-market. Obviously these ranges are more important, or I guess more price discovery to take place around in these ranges than these ranges, because these ranges have been more established. So these ranges are exciting is what I'm trying to get down to. I'll be interested in see how what the stock does and anywhere in these prices. We got a nice little move up to 19. A breakout of 19 gives us a move up to 20, which is the 52-week high, and a breakout of that gives us more room to the north side, because the stock really hasn't traded higher than 20 for a really long time. I mean, look at this prices that the stock has been trading in, really trading at the May 2021 lows at the moment. So pretty good prices for Palantir, and would be interested to see if Alex Karp can help us out on this position for a long term, even though we did have to liquidate a lot of our long term today. We took a lot of profits on a long term. We didn't liquidate it. We cut a lot of our positions down a little bit, took some profits like Apple, Palantir, DraftKings, GitLab. We took profits on a lot of positions, so I'm glad that I was able to do that, taking some profits, making some money, and seeing if we can reinvest that profit somewhere else in the market. Okay, Palantir tomorrow, would be interested to see what happens. Rivianes, I don't know why I said that, but Rivian tomorrow, let's see what happens over here. Not sure where that blue catalyst comes from. I think that's basically the day that they announced that they were doing some sort of a second offering for a really long time down the future. So Rivian over here kind of pulling back to the downside. We talked about that $20 area, possible rejection of that 20 and a pullback, and that was my idea, right? But I just kind of got shaken out on the big move over here up to 2020. Wasn't able to wait for the right side of the V, a little bit impatient on my entries, and wasn't really able to believe on the move to the downside based on the action over here in the off the open. So missed out on my trade, missed out on the move, but not upset. We can have more trades on this coming up tomorrow. If there is a pullback anywhere up to 20, I think we have that room to watch out for now up to 2020 for a bigger short to the downside tomorrow, especially if we do get a pop into these areas. So let's see if Rivian is going to give us a pop or a breakout of this 19, and we start just dropping to the downside tomorrow, right back into these ranges again. 19, go back into 18, go back into 17. So go right back into the lower end of these ranges after rejecting that $20 area on RIVN, because we know that the catalyst is weak. Although the weak catalyst is a longer term weak catalyst. Okay, let's go to NEE, the stock that has been selling off drastically for the last few weeks or so, that we caught a nice short on the break of this $50 area, now setting up for a beautiful possible short again around this $53.50 to $54. That anchored VWAP, that blue line that you're seeing at the moment, right around $53.50. The high of this candle over here, $54.13. So looking for any shorts possibilities to get built into near $53.50 to $54, and even any longs. NEE I'm hilarious. Okay, anyways, looking for any longs to get built into right around the support of 54. If we burst about above $54, start seeing some buying above $54, I would I would love to look for that longs off of that area. This is also the 52-week low. That's not the 52-week low. This is the 52-week low. So that's the 52-week low over there on NEE, and I think it is. Yeah, that's a 52-week low. Okay, so that's the 52-week low anchored VWAP, and you're seeing the bigger one over here, which is the anchored VWAP from the overall move to the downside, incoming on NEE. Right now, we could see a possible resistance of this area. Today was a monster move, rally to the upside, 3.8% overall, but I'm looking for rejections. Once again, possible rejections to come in around this $53.50 to $54, and then a $53.50 to $54 actually shows you buying, then you can get long in this area for the breakout of the north side and a little bit of a return on this position to the upside. So let's just put it down in our notes over here. 53.50 slash $54 area to keep on watch. AMC had a little bit of a squeeze today. I mean, what the hell are all these lines? I guess these are all pre-split lines. Time to nuke them. Okay, so put in AMC over here in a nice little chart for us. Let me make it a little bit more visible. The most recent ranges is what I'm interested in. So we'll put that high. We'll kind of mark. We'll just put it over here. We'll put that one over there. We'll kind of mark that area, and we'll put one over here. And now we're interested to see what happens on any pops to the north side on. Hello, come on, dude. Any pops to the north side on our friend over here, AMC, not our friend at all, let's be honest. On our friend over here on AMC to the north side, as it's trying to pull back into these $13 areas. The EMAs are curling. This is the 20 period EMA. This is the daily chart that you're watching. The stock is getting ready to squeeze a little bit. I mean, this is obviously the Ape merger. They previously split AMC shares into Ape stock, and then the Ape stock had to get merged back into AMC. So all that nonsense that they were doing, and then the stock is going to squeeze and become the greatest stock in the world again. So hey, I don't know, who am I to say that they're wrong? Shout out to the Apes. A little bit of a squeeze day today, 5% to the upside. It was a battle though. I wouldn't really call this a squeeze in any moves, but there was a little bit of areas that you saw volume come in and the stock would just bump out, but there was still constant selling coming in, and the stock was getting dumped off right after every single pop that it had. So it was a battle for the longs, but still up 5% on the day. Don't think I will be watching it too closely for any type of trade. You guys know me. I'm only interested in a real short squeeze, and this one's not a real short squeeze anytime yet. But if it is, it will for sure be fun. We'll have a lot of fun with it. But the stock did look like it was gearing up for it. I mean, look at that big volume candle. Every single candle you're seeing is a 1 minute candle. 1 minute candle. It looked like it was gearing up for it, but nothing really happened today, sadly. I was watching it. I'll have it on my watch list. I just don't think I'll be trading it. CVX. I guess it's a little bit of the oil catalyst, the XOM catalyst behind it too. Not really sure if it has its own real catalyst behind it, but looks like, yeah, XOM's catalyst could be putting some problems over here for CVX and dropping it to the downside today, 3% to the downside. There is clear support in this range of 159 to 158 or so in CVX. So if it does pull back a little bit lower, I wouldn't be surprised seeing that support come back in. So I'm not sure you want to be really looking for the shorts on CVX the way you would be on XOM. So I'll just delete it from my watch list. Not too interested. Talking about not being too interested, here's a stock that I'll actually put it in that watch list, because this stock was absolutely poo-poo garbage today off the IPO. I mean, it did give you some trades, granted, whatever. The volume was pretty trash. 15 million, actually not that bad, but volume was pretty trash off the open. And this level over here, what was that? There we go. 40-50 area could be something to keep an eye out for. There was a lot of buying off that area, giving you some bounces. The stock was supposed to trade at from $44 to $49. opens up at 41, highest it goes is to 42.50, and then constant sell off after there from 42.50 all the way down to 39.50 here in the after hours. So any pops into this 40.50 to $41 could give you some possible shorts, as that $41 is the anchored VWAP on BIRK. So let's put in 40.50 to $41. Ow, my ear hurts. $41 possible shorts on BIRK. CHPT, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, CHPT, monster sell off to the downside today. I think there's some sort of a sale going on CHPT, that they're selling themselves, or some catalyst. What's going on over here? Can I actually see the catalyst? Secure funding, is that, what are they're doing like a stock sale? Yeah, so they're selling more shares, and they're diluting basically. So big volume spike, 100 million shares coming in, dropping the stock 15% of the downside, taking it to a new all-time low, new 52-week low. So that gave me, that kind of put it on my radar, on my watch list today, and I was able to, you know, build into a nice long with that risk right there, $33.08. Remember, told you $3.08 risk. I'm long $3.08. 3.825 is what I'm long. Risk is near $8. Never really breaks it. Beautiful move up to almost $4 over here, but selling comes back right in around that 390, 395 or so, and now I'm having to, you know, push most of my size out because I see that the selling is too strong. The stock does not want to push higher, sadly, and still, money was made. Can't complain. Money was made. Tomorrow, as SSR will be day 2, there could be some rallies. So I'll be watching today's candle. Today's candle, obviously a monster candle, 375 area, very close to 380, honestly. And that 380, anytime the stock was pushing down to that 380, it looked like there was some action happening right around that price. A lot of action happening right around that price. Instead of talking about it, let me actually put down an indicator that can kind of show us a little bit of a better representation. Let me actually do this for us. Okay, so right around, you see that 380, you see that volume node at 380, the volume point of control, the POC line from volume profile for the stock, for every single bar that you see on the stock today, that you're seeing right now, most of the volume transacted right at that $3.80. So I didn't even need a volume profile, because I was watching the stock trade so much at that price. I was able to, you know, see that happen right in front of my eyes. So based on that action, I would be surprised to see the stock, I mean, even the fact that it closed not that much closer than 380, it closed to 378, the low of day is 375. I'd be interested to see if there's some sort of a action for us to get long off of that 380, risk that low of 377, 375 over here, and get long tomorrow, get a nice little rally on it. So charge point, looking to see if there's any moves over there. 375 slash, hello, 375 slash 380 support. If selling, stay away. Okay, Carvana, as an honorary member, you guys know, always shows up on our watch list just to be safe in case the stock does, you know, squeeze. It does have a pretty high short flow. If the stock starts moving around tomorrow, gotta have it on our watch list over here. So we do have those lines up there near $40. I think that, where's that line over here? That 36.40. We're not really there at, we almost got to it today, but yeah, if tomorrow that 36.40 area comes back into play, kind of could have to put this on watch right over there, that 36.40 area. And if we do break down below that area, we got a nice little move, possible move to $34, and a little bit of even bigger move to $32. Right now looks like we are rejecting the higher end of these ranges up to $40 or so on Carvana, but I think I'm only interested in what happens near that 36.40. If we start breaking below 36.40, show me a little bit of weakness below 36.40, I'm interested in that shorts move to 34 or even bigger move below 34 on Carvana. Affirm, also another honorary member. I think I'm just gonna have to let Affirm move around tomorrow, honestly. I don't really trade this stock as much, but just an honorary member because it keeps going crazy to the north side and crazy to the downside. An insane V-shaped recovery, almost higher, coming right back into the higher end of these ranges over here. And this previous 52-week high support, obviously the 52-week high support, obviously 52-week high is right over here now, but this previous 52-week high slash double top area could come in as support for the stock over here at the moment where we're trading near that $20. So I mean, if there is longs, you could look for longs off that 20, but I'll just have to wait for it. Kind of the same answer for Roblox over here. I know that's a little bit of a cop out for the traders who are really interested in these positions, but Roblox making an insane rally, actually monster rally on Roblox, but the volume has been diminishing quite a bit. The volume has been diminishing. I wouldn't ignore the stock. The levels aren't there. There are some possible trades that are setting up. If we do break out of this 32.50, there's a gap fill to the north side on Roblox. There's also a possible reject off that 32.50 and push back to the downside. So I mean, there are levels obviously to watch out for, but I wouldn't say the stock is for sure got a trade kind of position tomorrow. I think there'll be other trades more important for us. Maybe these earnings positions, maybe some of these trades over here that were really active on the day, and some of these even after hour movers can maybe give us better trades tomorrow. But Roblox could be that low hanging fruit, that trade that no one's really watching, that's setting up for a beautiful short setup right back to the downside, as we are pulling right back into this 32.50s, which was the previous earnings gap down high. 32.50, as we are getting closer and closer to that price. Could be close some shorts off of that price. Pepsi, talking about earnings, here this is a stock that actually had earnings recently and has been selling off quite a bit. So we traded this today on earnings day 2. The earnings day VWAP actually came into play right around that 164 area, and we were looking for a short right around that price. We were able to take a good trade right around to, I think, here, closer to 60, 163, 160. Yeah, well, I think we took it down to 163 if I remember. We got $1 per share, but there was a bigger trade being offered overall. Missed out on it. A little bit of FOMO on that trade right around this area, sadly. Overall, would I have taken this again? I guess I would have taken that trade again and again. I could have possibly waited, been a little patient for that VWAP, today's VWAP, to come into play. I wasn't really patient for that one, but overall, positive trade on it. Not gonna complain too much. Let's look for some trades tomorrow, and I'll be honest, I don't think there's a trade on it tomorrow. I don't think there's a big trade on it tomorrow. It was exactly an inside day. So day 2 on this position, even though it was red on the day today, a complete inside day of the earnings day move. The earnings day move looks like a little bit like a doji candle. So indecision candle on the earnings day itself, as the market was really rallying. This stock did end positive on the day, but very, very indecisively. And today on day 2 of earnings, looks like it clearly decided what it wanted to do, and it was pushed to the downside. So selling off quite a bit and ending down 1%. Maybe that catalyst of that, the drug's still gonna hurt this position a little bit longer. So Pepsi could be some shorts tomorrow, but not a stock that I'll be too excited to watch out for. Maybe this one could be something to be excited to be watching out for. It's that 550 area. The stock keeps struggling around that 545 to 550, not able to punch above and really stay above those prices. Could keep on giving you those shorts again and again and again. Tight risk for beautiful reward to the downside. So shout out to Lucid. I, however, was not really interested in trading Lucid today, and I was too interested in trading Rivian and missed out on the short over here. Tight risk for a beautiful reward. So shout out to Lucid. Just keeps showing up every single day with those trades for us. Netflix. This is just the Writers Guild Association kind of trade, and this I think this blue anchored view op that you're seeing is also the same one that comes from the day that they announced that their prices are getting increased, I believe, right over here. So ever since then, the stock has basically traded below it. We had a couple days where it traded above it, but right below it. So struggling to trade above that anchored VWAP. Looks like no one's really caring about the stock, having that catalyst. And oh, look at that range. We're actually breaking below a solid range over here of 367 or so. I think tomorrow, if we do set up this on this stock below 365, there could be some sort of a short over here and a bigger move to the downside on NFLX. So I wouldn't ignore this one. So shout out to NFLX. Shout out to me even remembering to put it on my watch list, because hey, I kind of would have missed that trade. I will be for sure watching this somewhere around yesterday's low near this 365.34. 365 basically, and we have that number down on the list, anywhere near 365 possible shorts on NFLX for ourselves. American Airlines. The only reason American Airlines really is on the watch list is because of two things. CCL was on the active movers list today. I think CCL kind of did nothing, honestly, but it was one of the most volume traded stocks on the day with 25 million shares, trading less volume than it does in the average 10-day, which is 10 million shares or 40 million shares, sorry. Recently had its earnings report and has been trading below its earnings report ever since. But this one, no big trade on this one for us, and no big trade on American Airlines either. But the other reason that American Airlines is on the earnings report or on the watch list, sorry, for us, is because of Delta Airlines, which has earnings tomorrow pre-market. So that one is something that we will for sure be watching out for. Look at this moving average. This moving average, which is a 20-period moving average, is showing a constant selling. I mean, you can see that happening on the chart itself. It's just on a channel to the downside, just straight to the nether realm. But so far, constant selling. If the stock can reclaim that 20-period EMA on a positive Delta Airlines earnings report, maybe there's some longs over here to set up for us on American Airlines, but I wouldn't be too keen on it. I think tomorrow it will be Delta for us. Maybe AAL could be some sort of a sympathy trade, and CCL too, but those are just the sideline stocks for us. Those are just the side chicks for us to keep an eye out for. If they start moving around a little bit, we will take a trade on them. I put AAL twice on it. I can't believe that. Okay, SoFi. Someone in the chat wanted us to take a look at SoFi. What do we think about SoFi at the moment? I mean, it is breaking out to the higher end of the ranges. I do like those constant green days on SoFi. Okay, SoFi, let's go. Pushing right back into this $9 area. But if we do see rejections of that 9, I mean, it's pretty obvious to short that $9.20 to $9 prices if we do pop into it. So shout out to you for calling it out. I'll actually put it on my watch list to short the stock if it does pop up into this prices. But if we see buying coming in, then you're looking for those longs off of that. So 9 to 920 possible short, but if buying, stay away on SoFi. ARM. We actually haven't traded ARM in a long time, ladies and gentlemen, but it's pulling right back into this 56, 55 areas. Look at that rejection. Triple top now coming in for one of the largest semiconductor chip sector chip stock in the world out there. It is your stock ARM. Constant rejection of that IPO low / IPO heavy price bid that they had on that day. 56.20, 55.55. So if for any reason the stock does pull back in these prices tomorrow, you could look for possible shorts, or a breakout of these prices could give you beautiful longs to the higher side, all the way up to maybe even $58, because that happens to be the anchored VWAP from the IPO day itself. So ARM looking for possible moves above 55.55 to 56 for a bigger move higher, or shorts off of that. I can't spell. Okay. LMT RTX, not really a stock that I'm going to be day trading, but I have it in my long-term account now. I bought some shares of Lockheed Martin on Monday based on, obviously, whatever happened, right? Whatever happened, and I saw an opportunity and I took it. I took the 434 area. 434.50 is my average price on Lockheed Martin, and a nice little rally on the next day all the way up to 440. I got a little happy, but we dropped right back to the downside. And this anchored view up that you're seeing right now is basically off of that day's the Monday's move. So nice support off that anchored view up yesterday and today. I will be happy if this price keeps on holding right around 433.30 to 433.70. If we can keep holding this area and keep pushing up to the north side, I think the stock has a lot of upside. You know, not financial advice, but a lot of upside for swing trade over here right into 450 or so. So my average price right around those days lows right there, which I'm pretty happy about. You know, my average price is the average price of whoever's controlling the stock, I guess. Not really working that, doesn't really work that way. But the average price of every single stock share traded for the last 3 days, including today, for the last 2 days plus today, which is 3 days. The average price is right around where my average price is. So I'm happy with that. And my stop is pretty tight now. My stop, which was lower than that, which was around 430, now gets to be a tighter stop, and my reward gets to be better on this position if it does pop up to the north side. So swing trade over here. So maybe you can apply that to a day trade thesis too. If you are interested to look for a long on Lockheed Martin or RTX, which are both obviously defense stocks moving around recently because of everything that's happening with Israel and Palestine. So if you are interested on that trade, there's a little bit of a buying area over here coming in, and that anchored VWAP showing you that there's a lot of buying coming in off that prices. So LMT and RTX for any of you interested. For stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and all these positions, I kind of want to just, you know, just talk about the overall market itself, because I'm sure everyone has their own levels on these positions, and you know, everyone has their own ideas. So I just want to talk about the overall trade of the market, but at the same time there are some levels over here to point out. 180 on Apple, very, very close to that today, so something to watch out for. Amazon, let's see if it's at a pretty price that we like it. Yeah, it looks like we like that price, 132.50. So let's see, let's put down 132.25 to 132.50 to keep an eye out for. Google making a little bit of a move to the north side also, 140, 141. So watch out for those prices to come into play. Microsoft, if I remember, was also making a nice little move over here, but these are the numbers we're interested in, closer to 340. But hey, if Microsoft can make that move, we can watch out. But I think there was one that I'm actually missing, Meta. So let's actually put out Meta over here, which was this previous 52-week high of $326. So $326 did manage to give you a monster breakout today. The stock was, you know, just ripping to the north side. 326 held, it gave you a scalp, but sadly breaking below 326 later. Again, rips up later on, and then the FOMC minutes move actually helps the stock out drastically to the upside. So shout out to any bulls on Meta today, up 1.8%, very, very strong on the day. Missed out on this trade today, but if there is any trade tomorrow of that 326, this previous 52-week high slash today's high of 328, almost 329, possible levels to look out for on Meta. And overall, you have your other chip stocks, your tech stocks that are all moving around. I'm sure you guys are all keeping them on your watch list. But what is happening with the FOMC minutes? So that's what I want to get down to really at this moment. So let's go to financial juice. See if we get a little bit of a summary over here from the FOMC minutes. I don't want to read the whole thing. Do we chat GPT this chat? Okay, here we go. We got a little bit summary. Okay. Participants at the Fed September 1912 policy generally judged the risk to achieving FOMC goals had become more two-sided. Doesn't sound good. Risk included longer lag effects from financial tightening, the effect of union strikes slowing global growth, and continued weakness in the commercial real estate. More bad news. Several participants noted that balance sheet runoff could continue for some time, even after rate cuts begin. Even more bad news. Still saw below trend growth. Softer labor market as necessary to restore economic balance. More bad news. Many participants noted that data volatility potential data revert. Maybe the reds are just the bad news, Prad. Maybe you're just reading the bad news. You can also read the good news too, which are right over here. We'll read that in a second. But data revision is supporting case for proceeding carefully and determine the extent and additional tightening. Okay. Most participants continued to see upside risk to inflation. That's bad news. Participants said inflation was unacceptably high. More evidence needed to be confident price pressures ebbing. Okay, more bad news. Several participants commented that the policy rate at a near peak. That's good. Decisions and communications should shift to how long rates stay restrictive versus how high they will rise. That's not bad news at all. That's good news. Fed staff economic forecast was stronger than July projections on Brazilian consumer and business spending. I think that's bad. But overall, pretty bearish but they're still talking about how they're not really going to increase. Fed is at near peak or rate hike cycle. So that's good news overall. Fed Collins coming out talking today after the market closes. Could be warranted depending in incoming data. Cooler inflation will need a softer labor market. So obviously Fed Collins out here talking about the stock market and the inflation and so on later on after the market closes, helping us make the market crumble on itself or help it move. Tomorrow though, where's my page over here? Economic calendar, there you are. Tomorrow we do have CPI. So that's pretty important. 8:30 we have core CPI. Might just dictate the move on the whole day. 8:30 we also have initial jobless claims, both of which are pretty important for the inflation fight that the FOMC committee is trying to have. So keep an eye out for the 8:30 move tomorrow. 100% dictating the move on the market tomorrow, Thursday. And then you obviously have the earnings movers, DPZ. I don't want to look at the sheet. DPZ. Come on, Prad. How can you forget already? The Zawzaw. Walgreens and Delta Airlines. So these stocks over there pre-market. All stocks are going to be moving around, obviously, off of this 830 number. And maybe even TLT, the treasury stocks and ETFs move around a little bit. So some fun to be had tomorrow, as tomorrow was a little bit, or today was a little bit of a muted move off the open. The market just kangarooed along, but the FOMC minutes really helped the market, end positive on the day. So tomorrow, core CPI and then the initial jobless claims could help us reverse that whole move. Could see a big sell-off, or we could see a bigger rally on the market, really to the upside, kind of really shaking off everything that's happening on the war thesis over here, right? So big shake off on the market over here off that war thesis. The day itself on Monday did not care. The market just rallied. I mean, you can see the chart right here. Indices just taking off to the north side. So shout out to the market. That's the Dow Jones 30 you're seeing. Here's the US 500, which is the S&P 500. That's the Dow 30, and this is also S&P 500, basically the S&P 500. So big rally. So shout out to the markets. Tomorrow pretty important on the inflation numbers. Keep an eye out for the 8:30, as I keep repeating to you guys. As for the IPO catalyst, we are basically done on the day, or for the week, for the month, for the year. I think so, because we haven't really seen anything big being announced yet. But if anything big comes up, we'll take a look for that. Birkenstock was the biggest one so far, and that was pretty much a dud today. Tomorrow there could be some trades off of Birkenstock, and we'll obviously prepare for it if there is any volume on it. Today only 15 million shares, and usually if you guys remember the trend on what happens to stocks with volume after day one of IPO, they just die off. Here's ARM, which is the biggest IPO that happened recently, now only trading 4 million shares after initially trading 100 million shares on day one. So obviously a big decline on volume itself, and I won't be surprised if Birkenstock has a big decline on volume itself. Speaking of Microsoft, which we kind of just skimmed through, this one actually will be very in play tomorrow, I believe, based on that catalyst that you see in the title itself. You can evade anything in life, but you can't run away from two things, which is debt and taxes. The IRS comes down knocking on Microsoft's door, asking for $29 billion. There's a battle over here, obviously, to take place for Microsoft. A little bit of a big move to the downside on Microsoft in the after hours off of that catalyst. I might actually put in a anchored VWAP from that move itself, so I can kind of see if what happens in the pre-market tomorrow or off the open tomorrow off that move, and see if we can see a little bit of sell-off off of that price. But Microsoft over here, possible moves to the downside tomorrow off of that catalyst, and 830 numbers. If they come out bad for the market, maybe Microsoft can really push to the downside off that number. And obviously we have a lot of these tech stocks at a pretty decent levels to take an eye out, take a fight for on the price, on the battle. Google at nice little highs, Apple's near nice highs, and so on. So every little stock out there at nice highs for us to battle for the shorts, especially if the QQQ and the SPY starts selling off. So watch out for these prices over here on the Qs. Inside day today, but yesterday's high coming into play again, and yesterday's high I think came into play on the SPYs too, pretty much close to yesterday's high. Looks like we actually have a level over there that we mapped out. I don't know why, but okay, we'll see if these levels that slash yesterday's high slash today's high comes into play again tomorrow, and that 830 number gives it as a boost or a breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all she wrote for today. Let's see if the chat has anything over here. Hi, Prad. What's up, cute puppy? The viewer don't reflect your quality. Much love, Plat. The viewers don't reflect your quality. Much love, Platinum Prad. Are you saying that I don't have a lot of view count? Well, it's a good thing that I keep the view count hidden, because I don't want to act different based on how many people are watching me or not. I keep it true, the authentic, the man himself, the OG, the legend, TraderPrad. You know what to do. Prad, AMD and Nvidia gonna melt up. So go up, you're saying? Hey, let's go. Shout out to AMD and Nvidia. I mean, I have AMD in my portfolio, even though I did take some profits on it today. But shout out, if they do go up, I will be in that party. Trust me, baby. I can't wait for it. Traded that cyber sector you don't like, lol. Net bug paid the bag going on. Don't want to get you censored on YouTube. Oh no, that's good, man. I mean, I don't really care too much about cybersecurity, because I think it's just a big lie sold to people. But I mean, it is a real thing. It is a real thing, cybersecurity. I mean, without big companies like Cloudflare and Net, we would probably have so many viruses on our computer. So shout out to Net. I'm pretty sure Net is Cloudflare, right? Yeah, now Net is Cloudflare. So without Cloudflare, there would be a lot of viruses on the internet, on the computer, just boosting or just downloaded on every single website. So shout out to them. Traded SPY and QQQ. Rally is possible. Santa Claus rally is coming up, but isn't that like closer to the end of the year slash the next year? Whatever it is, I'll be ready for whatever side. I mean, we're day traders, right? We're day traders. Our job is to not really have too much of a bias on anything, and really trade the market price action. Price action is king. Market move is king. The market will constantly keep giving you answers and secret whispers as to what direction the market is moving to. So you always want to be listening to those answers and directions the market wants to push to, and kind of join that party, join that flow. Once you are able to kind of read that option flow, that the money flowing, that order flow, you kind of crack the code, and you're in the matrix, baby. You took the red pill, you're in the matrix. The red pill, you see the red room, red pill, you get the idea. We're in the matrix, we're cracking the code. It's Mr. Pradson. If anyone got that joke, it's Mr. Anderson. But Mr. Pradson over here. Shout out to everyone who actually came out though, and stuck to watch my lame ass jokes and watch the stream today. Hopefully you found some banger trades. I for sure found some banger trades for myself. I'm gonna call it quits over here, go walk my dog, come back, finish throwing up some of my indicators on my charts and levels over here, get some food in me, maybe get some quick little soup in me. It's a little bit late to eat food now, but get some soup in me and call it a night, and come back tomorrow, same time, same place at 8:00 p.m. ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow will be the last stream of the week. Sadly, only 2 streams this week. I know I was on vacation, but I'm back. Regular schedule is back, and for those of you who are new to the stream, make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment. It will do me a lot of help with the YouTube algorithm and all that blah blah blah. So help me out with that. YouTube algorithm means a lot. And also do check out my social media links all down below, and my affiliate links down below. The codes for the discounts are also right beside them, so make sure you check them out if you're interested. Software like Benzinga, the news platform that you see me use today, TraderSync that I use to track my trades every single day, and also trade ideas that helps me scan stocks and find stocks like TPST and so on. So shout out to all my affiliate sponsors that help me make my trading elevate to the next best level, and I would like for you guys to do that for yourselves too. So check out all those links. Catch you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. same time, same place. Have a great night and have an even better trading session tomorrow. Peace.